Hey guys, Darcy, Smyth here, creator of the Tonal Persuasion Method for Sales. I'm here with Quintin Venter, who runs his own digital marketing agency. Thanks for joining us, Quintin.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the introduction. Darcy, Quintin here from Venter Agency. And we specialize in building marketing funnels that deliver high results for our clients, mainly online and offline, and specifically focusing on Facebook, because Facebook is just such an amazing platform.
Yeah, really took over the world there for a second, didn't it?
It did, and I think it's still growing. I think their plan of world domination is definitely something that is realistic in their grasp, and I know Mark is working towards that. So
Yeah,
it is an
absolutely,
amazing
man.
platform.
Well, it's a pleasure to be able to have this chat with you, Quintin, because I know there's a lot of people in your community, no doubt, that that follow you, follow your work. It's great stuff. You know how to solve specific problems for them around social media, right?
Yes.
And when I first saw what you were doing, I'm a huge user of social media. I love it. I'm a big content marketer on social media. I love just educating my market through social media,
Yeah.
right? And so when I saw what you were doing and I saw you were getting great results, I was like, I need to jump on screen with this guy, tap into his brain and find out what are the major components of social media that result in great results for people. Because I've used it to get great results, but I want to hear it from a master. And I know that both of our communities are going to enjoy hearing this and are going to get a lot of value out of it. So if you don't mind, can I just kick off with the
Yeah,
first
man.
question? Is
You
that
make
cool?
me blush, the master.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. That's
I
it.
should refer back to you. I mean, Darcy, it wasn't always the way that it is right now. It actually changed for me when I changed my attitude and my beliefs around what it was to be like social media. I used to be one of those phonies. I used to be one of those guys that would literally just go and see something and duplicate it, but duplicate it in a way that I didn't own it. I didn't own what the value that I wanted to give. I simply just took it, and I got burned by that a few times. And that's when I learned that that is not the way to go through social media at all.
Yeah.
First of all, it being such a wildfire platform, your reputation is at stake here. What you do and how you do it, there's always eyes on you, and it can bite you in the ass eventually. And it simply just switched from there, where I started actually educating myself as to what does it take to really create influence, and on an offline basis and then also on an online basis. And it really changed for me to change my attitude, to change me as the leader that I wanted to be, in the sense of I actually wanted to help people. Now, that only changed when I actually came true to my purpose, my why it is that I do what I do. Why do I get excited in the morning to wake up and to go to sleep at night? And right now I got goosebumps from it. Like, I don't know if you can see, but every time I get into my why, I then start to get into the zone where I can just go and actually deliver content and value that I own, that is truly mine. And from my voice, I then started creating a following. And it is through that I just
Yeah.
nurtured it. But it didn't happen organically previously. It really took place the moment that I started owning my own stuff and bringing my own flair to it as well.
So it sounds like there's a lot more congruency within you these days.
Oh, totally.
How did you choose social media as the vehicle for that?
Dude, the reason why social media, actually, let's start with the reason why marketing is. I love
Yeah.
marketing because it reminds me of dating. Now, ever since that I met Em, my now partner, it was just like, I love this dating game. And through marketing, I'm able to date my clients' clients. So it's still using my skills, and in a sense of how do we now create relationships for
Yeah.
our clients. Now, social media is just an amazing platform, especially Facebook. It having 1.6 billion active users on the actual platform. That is just phenomenal. So the likelihood of our clients actually being able to find their ideal clients through social media, it's highly likely that they're hanging out on that platform. It
Yeah,
is now
that's
just,
insane.
yeah,
1.6 billion.
and it's now just the actual the thinking behind building relationships, the dating thinking of how do we get someone to actually fall in love with you. How do we get these
Yeah.
clients to fall in love with my clients? And through that, we nurture the relationship over and over and over and over. Where it's no longer
Yeah.
just that, hey, let's go, let's get married on the first date. It is really about, no, no, no. I need to know that you're as cool as you say you are, and I want you to
Yep.
know that I'm as cool as I say that I am before we engage with any sense of conversation.
I love that, man. That's really cool. Fall in love with the brand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
fantastic. So, what with the people that I've typically followed personally, I'm big into the Gary Vaynerchuk's, all of this, the monsters of the social media world. I think it's Gary V. Most people watching this
Yeah.
will agree he's the monster of the world. One of the things that a monster in a good way, monster in a big way, not in a scary way. He's a
Yeah.
bit scary. But one of the major things that I always took away from Gary was to make social media about others. And I
Yes.
found that when I adapted not only social media, making it about others, but my entire business about others. Being in business is not about you, is essentially the main lesson to take from that.
Yes.
And with that in mind, what do you think is the major characteristic or the major value of people when they're on social media and using it the way that you teach? What is one of the main things they want to keep in their mind? So if Gary Vee says make it about others, what would Quintin Venter say?
Um, that's a good question. I actually never thought of it like that. What would I say? Um, yeah, I don't have it.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of it like that. What we focus on is constantly focusing on the others and keeping the prospect in mind as to they will ask themselves, what's in it for me? And to
Yeah.
really nurture it from that perspective, to really give it to them, always focusing on what's in it for you if you consume this. And that's my mentality around it, is to constantly make it about them, really understand them as to where they are with the current situation, and then really making it about them and give them something that is useful and valuable.
Nice. Okay, so solving problems for them, making it about them constantly.
Yeah,
This is
totally.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
love it. You see a lot of people jump on social media. The amount of times, Quentin, where I'm on big on Twitter or I'm LinkedIn or anything, and you'll add a connection, and my first response is always, "Hey, how can I help you in business?" Right?
Yeah.
There's always a first approach, and their response is always back. Oh, well, not always. A lot of the time, it can come back and say, "Hey, hey Darcy, nice to meet you. Wear this," and then they just go through and offer their services.
Oh,
And
that
it's
kills
like, what
me.
you haven't made an attempt to date me, fall in love with me, or marry me. So there's
Oh,
a major issue here in what people think good business and sales and marketing is versus making it about the client
yeah,
before they're even
totally.
your client.
Yeah, and I've got to give you a lot of credit, dude. You are absolutely owning that. Every time that I get into your group and the way that you've established it, you as the person that really makes it about the community, you have absolutely mastered that skill. And it
Thank you. I
is
appreciate that.
for all of you listening here, you got to get into touch with Darcy and check out his. If you want to see a community that's highly thriving, where the person running the show is really making it about the community and adding exceptional amount of value, Darcy is the absolute guy for this. And it's exactly as you say here. They straight away come in with trying to be nice, but then having that hidden motive where it's that hidden motive of actually secretly I'm just playing nice right now because I want to get something out of you eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? When I see that, I love pulling people up on it and it's be like, no, how about you romance a person first? Like really get to know me. If you're going to approach me in that way, understand what I'm about and get that conversation going before you pitch anything about, hey, check out my stuff too, or you
Yeah.
should go here for more information.
That's it, and it's a really key point you make about the amount of time that people spend getting to know their buyer. So, for example, people in the community that Quintin was just talking about, there's no doubt that's done for a business reason,
Mm.
right? But it's done to add massive value first. And I'm never going to sit here and say I do that just to do it for the sake of it, and I don't want any sales back. There's
Yes.
absolutely sales that get made out of it, but they're made in 6 years from now, not necessarily 6 minutes from now.
Yes.
You know, it's playing the long game and respecting the long game of the client as well on social media.
Yeah.
Social media and content creation on social media is a long-term game.
Yeah, and I think
Has
you
to be.
make a very important point there that it's not about the immediate conversion now. It is about that long term. It is about in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time. What then? And I think that is where a lot of people, and we certainly deal with that a lot when we just start with clients. Their mentality is, cool, you're going to run these ads now. What ROI can I expect? When can I expect it by? And it is that mentality of, I'm now spending money and I want an immediate return right away. If you can't give me that immediate return, you're not doing your job. But they're not understanding the actual value lifetime of a customer, that it may not happen now, that it may happen later on, depending on how great you nurture that relationship over and
Love it.
over and over.
Love it.
And that is the key shift, that once they make that, we can actually do our job in such a phenomenal way by building out funnels that are constantly there, generating goodwill over and over. And when the time comes that they want to invest, they're already ready for it. You don't even have to pitch it to them. They're like, here, take my money. But it's a very long-term game.
Yeah, nicely said. So with the time factor in mind, when do you think a company is ready or a business is ready to start really pursuing an online presence? And I ask this with the context of the question in mind. If it's a long-term game, is it best that you start as early as possible, or is there a particular time when your business is ready to start really drilling down on social media? What do you think?
That's a very good question, and this is something that I talk about a lot. And this is where my passion comes into play. That I'm a very firm believer that in the way that you are as the human, as a person, as a business owner, the way that you are representing yourself online and offline is that it needs to be consistent. People needs to see the congruency about who you appear to be online and offline.
Now more than ever.
Now more than ever. And especially with these new platforms rising, it is nurturing the people that are now on it now. Where will they be in a couple of years' time, so that they can keep following you on all these other platforms? Now, coming back to the question, I believe someone is ready to go online when they are in a space of in a sense of being calm, being present as to who they are, rather in a sense of desperacy where the business is currently on a negative momentum and it's a downhill spiral, and they're like, cool, I've got this last few $100, I'm going to spend it on marketing online, on Facebook ads. But those $200 they need to buy bread with, or they need to pay rent. And I think that is where they make the mistake, where they see the social media platform as an scapegoat, as a quick fix.
Wow, well answered.
Thank you. And so when we really go about qualifying the people that we choose to have clients, we really look at, where are you at in business? Like, can you actually afford this? Like, if your business keeps on operating the way that it is for the next year, what would change? And if they can comfortably say that they can sustain it, and the business is at a growing level, or maybe they just need a quick band-aid solution. But we really look at long-term strategy in the sense of, who are you as a person? What is your why? What is your USP? And then really creating content around that for the long run, but only when they are at a stage of owning themselves.
Yeah, love it, man. With this in mind, so we're given some killer content here. I want to wrap it up with there's this thing I've always wanted to ask someone that's deep into social media.
This is going to be good.
Because see, for me, when I started in business, social media was a growing thing.
Yeah.
And personally, I always saw it as like, this is the game. This is where everyone's looking. This is where everyone's attention is right here on their phone.
Yeah.
Not on the billboards outside, right?
Yeah.
But I still hear that there are major companies that still need to be convinced that social media is a true thing. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And it is coming from their perspective of old style marketing, like old school marketing. And I also think it is their thinking around their business model is very limited to just thinking about, if I can just get more people to keep on coming in, then my business will be successful. But they lack the thought of the second model of getting people to come into your business, to come into your store, and then getting them to spend money with you more frequently, and then actively refer more of their friends to spend money with you. And they miss those two parts. They just focus on this number one pillar, for example. And this is the social media really takes after the second part. It really allows you to actually connect with your audience on a one-on-one level. And a lot of companies, they don't understand it, or they don't think of it that way, because they don't get that the consumer is actually checking in on them, how they are nurturing their own community. How are they responding with people asking questions that they have themselves? They just don't get that yet. And I think that is the learning curve that a lot of these business owners make, when they only realize it when it's too late.
Yeah.
And that's what's actually killing them. That's where
they fall back on it desperately to get the rushed result.
Yeah, and they're just not on board quick enough. It's like they're constantly trying to chase that train that is already leaving the station.
Yeah, love it. Yeah. This is it's really well said. So personally, I'm a big in sales training. I'm a big relationship creator. I'm all about relationships, and I think that social media, in the way that it's done, that you teach, is such a powerful way to do it. But here's the thing: it's always a reflection of what was always true in business, Quintin. Like the fact that you can be a flash in the pan business and become viral overnight has never been true.
Yeah.
Yet some people think they can use social media that way. Yeah. Right. And so, it's just not true. It's the way that social life works, only on a different platform.
Yes.
If you were the life of the party one night, but an idiot at every other party, pretty quickly you're going to be found out as not someone that want to be hung around. Yes. Right.
And that analogy of the party is exactly true. Each and every social platform has its own unique party, and the way that you hang out at a party determines on how people are going to respond to you. If you're that person that comes in is like, buy my stuff. When you go to a cafe, or you go to a park, or when you go to whatever social gathering, and you go there and you go, buy my stuff, buy this, you need this, like the security is going to come and say, you got to go. And that's why Facebook will kick you off if you piss the people off inside their community. And it is really, as you're stating, it is understanding each and every platform has their own language. It is their own representative party. The way that you act at a Facebook party is different than what you act at a Snapchat party and a Twitter party. And that is what people are going to remember you by.
Yeah, you don't rock up to the Facebook Christmas party wearing a Twitter shirt.
No.
I love it, man. I'm going to wrap it up there, because I know with these interviews, with these videos like this, if people can take, we've gone for about 20 minutes here.
Yeah,
there is killer content there, and I know that people will have had ideas throughout this interview that they're going to go take action on. And the final thing I'd just like to say is, if you have any questions, comments, you want to share this, put it down below. Myself and Quintin will be here to answer any questions. I know Quintin's a master of this stuff. He's waiting at the helm. So thank you so much, man. You added massive value. Darcy, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Mate, I just want to say it's been an amazing time. These 18 minutes, 18 and a half minutes that we have just now. Thank you so much for allowing me to share value to your community. And thank you so much for also sharing value to my community. I just want to ask, if people want to connect with you, what the group that we mentioned earlier, how can they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Yeah, so on Facebook, Accelerated Trust Creation, Tonal Persuasion Method Enthusiasts. But if you just type in Accelerated Trust, that group will come up. We are a very tight-knit group. I think people will find that when they jump in, and you'd be more than welcome, and you'll be made to feel very welcome as well.
Awesome.
So thank you, man. How about yourself? Where can we send people watching this to get in touch with you?
You can go to quintinventer.com.au, and what you will find is a very short little awesome article that'll give you value up front for you to be able to take your business online in a way to get through your social media projects. And that's it, dude. It's been an absolute pleasure. Mate, you absolutely rock it, and I look forward to keep on in your community and kick it on further there.
Thanks, Q.
Ciao.